Imagine growing up in a Muslim country. Your parents, your friends, your teachers, your imam all assure you that the Quran has been perfectly preserved and that it's filled with scientific miracles. They assure you that Muhammad was the greatest man who ever lived and that he performed miracles and that he was prophesied in the Bible. You believe all of this. You have no reason not to. And you're so confident in your religion that you become a devout Muslim cleric. Life is good. Well, as good as life can be in a Sharia-compliant hellhole, but there's one problem. There's one problem, one massive obstruction on the tracks ahead of you that threatens to completely derail the halal train. That problem is you've got internet access. The internet is awfully tempting. And eventually, you start looking at some things that your imam doesn't want you looking at, namely, embarrassing facts about Muhammad and the Quran. Soon, you realize that everything you were taught was a lie, spread by generations of deceptive imams. So you leave Islam, even though Islam has been the foundation of your life for decades. What do you do now? Well, you could keep your apostasy a secret. Many ex-Muslims do just that in Muslim-majority countries. There are millions of secret ex-Muslims in Muslim-majority countries. But some ex-Muslims are so outraged when they find out that they've been deceived all their lives that they decide to expose the lies in order to protect others from the deception. So you start making videos about Muhammad and the Quran and posting them on YouTube. Pretty safe to do if you're in the United States, for now. But if you're posting your videos in Indonesia, which has the highest Muslim population in the world, not so much. What happens if you get caught posting videos about Muhammad and the Quran in Indonesia? You get tortured by Napoleon Bonaparte. I wish I were kidding. The Barnabas Fund reports. A Muslim background Christian in Indonesia was brutally beaten in prison following his arrest for allegedly insulting the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Muhamad Kace, who was formerly an Islamic cleric, was subject to what his attorney described as a murder attempt and torture in which he was forced to drink poisoned water and had human excrement smeared on his face and body. Kace was arrested in August 2021 for his YouTube videos which criticize Islam and its teachings. YouTube videos criticizing Islam and its teachings. I like this guy already. The prison attack took place in the early hours of August 26th. Among the attackers was former head of the Indonesian Police International Division, Napoleon Bonaparte, see, I told you, currently serving a 4-year sentence for corruption. Bonaparte subsequently confessed to the attack, explaining, "Anyone can insult me, but not my Allah, the Quran, the Holy Prophet, and the creed of Islam. Hence, I pledge to take any action in a measured manner against those who dare to do so." Notice, his God insults other religions, and his book insults other religions, and his fake prophet insulted other religions. But if anyone insults his God, or his book, or his fake prophet, he's ready to get violent. Hypocrisy is the heart of Islamic morality. Kace's legal team, however, allege that prison officials also played a role in the attack and in an attempted cover-up. CCTV was disabled in the room where Kace was attacked, and cell guards were dismissed early from their duties. Sounds like this prison has the same guards that were supposed to be watching Jeffrey Epstein. Prison officials prevented Kace's legal representatives from visiting him on the afternoon of August 26th by claiming he was required to self-isolate for 14 days due to COVID-19 protocols. After 2 weeks, Kace's attorneys and his son were allowed to see him. "There was a bruise on his left arm," said his son. "There was a bruise on his back. He told me, probably my rib is broken." And this was weeks after the beating. Kace's attorney, Kamarudin Simanjutak, explained that Kace was interrogated without any legal representation after the attack, as well as being initially refused any treatment. Notice what's going on here. Indonesia is made up of more than 17,000 islands. And even though Muslims are the majority, there are plenty of Christians, Hindus, and Buddhists, so there's a fair amount of diversity from island to island, and this generally leads to a less strict implementation of Islamic law. So instead of executing ex-Muslims who criticize Muhammad, Indonesia puts them in prison. Isn't that more tolerant? Isn't that more modern? Isn't that more enlightened? But look at what happens. The government puts these ex-Muslims in prison with Muslim inmates and Muslim guards. What could go wrong? Simanjuntak also said that prison authorities had tried to cover up the incident for several weeks while they claimed Kace was in COVID isolation. They all said nothing happened to our client, not even touched. After we exposed that this was not the case, he added, investigators and high-ranking officials seemed to be competing to release statements that torture happened in their own detention center. Kace's legal team has written to several key figures, including the chiefs of the Cyber Division and the Criminal Investigation Agency. They have also written to National Police Chief Listio Sigit Prabowo, himself a Christian, asking why Bonaparte and others appear to be acting as an unaccountable religious police. We've seen this over and over. When the government refuses to enforce Sharia, other people will. But keep in mind, Muhamad Kace is still alive. According to Islam, he's under 2 death sentences, one for leaving Islam and another for mocking Muhammad. So even though we're outraged that Kace was arrested, incarcerated, and tortured for leaving Islam and mocking Muhammad, many Muslims are outraged that Kace was only arrested, incarcerated, and tortured for leaving Islam and mocking Muhammad. According to Western Muslim apologists, who are extremely popular on social media, anything short of public execution for Kace just isn't Islamic enough.
There's a reason why there's a capital punishment, because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.
Irony of ironies, the Muslim Napoleon Bonaparte torturing a Christian ex-Muslim in prison is actually far more tolerant than British Muslim apologists who are recruiting future beheaders on YouTube. But don't forget that the only possible reason anyone could ever have for being at all concerned about Muslim apologists calling for the public executions of our ex-Muslim friends is racism.
You're proud of that. You're proud of that. You're proud of that. It just backfired on you. You're proud of that. You're proud of that. You're proud of that. It just backfired on you. This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah?